Furious sounds of war there and a new message from Iran. Of course, following this weekend strikes, Iran says they've stopped all military operations against Israel. Now to that warning. They say that Iranian leadership will continue with aggression if aggression from Israel continues. In fact, they promise much stronger and more crushing actions will follow. Those are the words of the Iranian leadership at this hour. Now, this latest exchange of words and fire comes after Israel struck the outskirts of Beirut on Sunday. And take a look at this. These are remnants of missiles fired towards Israel. Those are Israeli settlers, by the way, who are sitting next to the weapon that was sent to kill them. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata is in Tel Aviv, where peace once again seems fragile.
According to Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, they say they've concluded their latest military operations, meaning the barrage of roughly 24 missiles fired toward Israel. The vast concentration of those were aimed toward the north, but we had air raid sirens and warnings here to head to the shelter this morning, and that hasn't happened since April. And the schools have been closed in anticipation of Iran going on the attack again. So we haven't heard anything really since this morning. It was around 6 a.m., maybe 1 or 2 after that. So in a statement on Iranian state TV, they said they're ceasing attacks for now, but they warned that if these attacks continue, Israeli attacks in southern Lebanon, harsher attacks would follow. So it's certainly a positive step forward. But once again, we're in a wait and see situation here. So there's been this ceasefire between the United States and Iran, yet Iran has fired around 8 or 9 ballistic missiles toward U.S. bases since then. Who knows how many drones? And the U.S. military has launched multiple strikes at Iranian targets along the Strait of Hormuz. So both sides accuse each other of ceasefire violations without saying that they've broken their ceasefire themselves. So that is where we stand as these talks go ahead between the United States and Iran, Israel and Lebanon and Hezbollah. And for now, anyway, things have gone quiet after we've seen this sharp escalation in violence overnight. Back to you.
All right, Charlie. And also we're watching Truth Social, where President Trump says this: Israel and Iran must immediately stop shooting. So let's go live to Washington and CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes. Nancy, good to see you on a Monday. So did the president's words signal that he's feeling this latest escalation could unravel the U.S. peace talks with Iran?
Yeah, no question, Reed. I mean, think about how hard it has been, even in the absence of any missiles being fired, to try to find some kind of common ground with Iran. And we're not even talking about some big overarching deal on Iran's nuclear program. This is a much smaller deal just to end hostilities, get the Strait of Hormuz reopened, and agree to talk further about Iran's nuclear program. That has been a difficult needle to thread. And then if you've got Iran and Israel firing at each other, it becomes all the more difficult. And that's why you saw President Trump in an extraordinary move yesterday. Once Iran had begun firing on Israel, he actually said publicly on Truth Social, I'm telling, and he said to reporters as well, I'm telling the Israelis not to respond. I don't want them to retaliate because this could spiral out of control. Well, the Israelis responded anyway, and then he urged both sides to ratchet down the tension. And now he's saying today that he thinks that both sides actually do want a ceasefire. If they want a ceasefire and if they want a final deal, it has still proven elusive, Reed, and the last 24 hours probably don't help.
All right, much to watch. Nancy Cordes, thank you so much.